All right, so the second third just about to get underway here. Blake Acres winning the number 8. Of course, made vacant by Trent Dennis-Lane, who will play for Sandringham this year. He's on the wing and he's playing on Jack Billings, so an interesting pair there. 2 draft picks from last year, of course. 2 first-round draft picks from last year. And Acres showed a lot of talent in his, 3 or 4 games that he played. And Billings, of course, was phenomenal, especially against West Coast that day when he kicked 3 goals in the first quarter and earned himself a Rising Star nomination. 2 quality young players. And then on the other wing is Templeton and Nunes. So again, these spots for the wing, they're highly sought after, quality players, and that's not even mentioning Montagna or Ray or Markworth or these types that will also be pushing for spots in those positions. Weller, Ross, Sinclair. Great to see Jack Sinclair in the centre at the moment because he's a renowned midfielder forward and they're giving him a chance. He's a strong young fella. He's a year older than most of the recent draftees. He's had a year as a top age player in the TAC Cup, played a few games in the VFL. And now he's here at St Kilda as the number 1 pick in the rookie draft.
How good's Greggy Ganil on the siren just there that
Absolutely
very faint
fantastic
horn. Jeez, he does a good job.
Rebel Sport horn. And up in the ruck and down it comes now again. And Armitage is going to have to get a handball away here. He went to his knees, but he managed to get one to Montagna. Nicely tackled again. Maverick Weller just wanted it most. That's what he's become renowned for. He's just sort of bulled his way through.
He's a bull, Mav Weller.
He really wanted that ball, didn't he? Doesn't matter if it's Intra Club or if it's Anzac Day game. He's well and truly in the contest all the time.
And that's a little bit of an insight as to why he's in the leadership group. Externally, it might have been a surprise that a guy goes from a rookie list spot to a leadership group in 1 year. That sort of attitude, that's what's impressed. That's why he is considered a genuine leader at the St Kilda Footy Club.
Seb Ross's disposal wasn't overly clean, but it found Bruce's hands on the first bounce and then got to Ray. Ray's gone to a 2-on-1 contest. Dempster's double backed here and he can't quite gather it cleanly, although Delaney will mop up and get a nice handball away to Nunes, who then tracks back to Geary and Geary will go across the face of goal.
Sam Fisher again gets on the end of it, just weaves around the opponent, dishes off to Geary. He's sizing up the options, spins around, gets away from Spencer White, chips it back in play to Savage. Savage, another short kick into Nunes, hand passes back to Savage. On the 1-2, gets it out to the wing. Shenton there with Templeton in hot pursuit. Shenton hand passes over the top. Savage again, 3 touches in 30 seconds. Kicks to the half-forward flank and McCartan can't quite grab it. Has 2 goes at it. Gets on his hands and knees, hand passes. Goddard intercepts for the away team. Hand passes over the top to Webster. Now Webster kicks up the wing for the Whites. And Spencer White, one out there, takes the mark with Dempster honing in on him. But Spencer White takes the grab and will line up for a set shot of about 45 out, slight angle.
Well, that's Jimmy Webster's value, isn't it? The way he can transition the ball via foot is so clinical and it's so quick, and he just hit Spencer White there. He didn't have a lot of options, to be honest, and he had to hit Spencer White cleanly with Dempster tracking back, and he did so with absolute skill and aplomb.
Very impressed by White today. He's playing all the right cards. Comes in, kicks. It's gone a little bit short, but the mark has been taken in the forward pocket by the away team. I think, was that Brenton Payne?
I'm pretty sure it's Brenton Payne down there. It's a long way from the commentary box, out down in front of the Watersun and Linen House signage. Of course, 2 quality organisations helping St Kilda Football Club out. He's gone with the check side. He's got it fat and it's just got the inside of the post. One behind to Brenton Payne. Really strong mark from him down there.
Can play forward and back, Brenton Payne, apparently.
And we saw his skills up forward there. Not a great kick out.
Webster takes the mark, sizing up the option. I don't know if it's just me. It seems there's been a lot of short kicking today.
Yep. Well, you'd imagine that Alan Richardson is keen to keep hold of the ball, to put it simply. He wants to have possession, and he wants to have possession for as long as possible.
Maybe we've just given away the game plan to anyone listening just there. So
luckily we don't know, so we could be completely wrong.
Yeah, fortunately, we actually have no idea, so it's just powers of observation. Louis Pearce goes up in the ruck. Montagna roves. Saunders gets the hand pass out and under pressure. Pretty scrappy contest in there. Weller on hands and knees trying to get the ball out. Doesn't quite succeed. It's still tightly fought. Webster gets the hand pass out. Now Ross throws it on the left foot and Luke Dunstan takes the intercept mark for the home team.
Dunstan deep in the back pocket. Rarely seen down there, Dunstan, actually. He often patrols the midfield, but he's worked his way back here, and it's a nice looking kick up, looking for Lee, who jumps high and marks it. Really nicely done, Tom Lee. Great signs, and the crowd appreciated down there as well. He marked in front of Goddard. He could go short, and the umpire says, move it along, please. And he's going to cut inside now and find Savage. Savage now, another short kick, just what you said before, to Dunstan, who's finding some space in this second third. A wobbling looking pump, but it finds its destination somehow in Fisher. Fisher arches his back and gets away. And now finds Dempster.
Geez, those two have been in the thick of it, Dempster and Fisher.
They have, and Dempster's a long way up here, actually. He's taking on the lead. Dempster's on the wing, and he's come back inside looking for Shenton, the Panther they call him. Shenton now can go to Billings on the wing, but no, he decides to chip inside again to Longer. Longer handball away to Nunes. Nunes can run, and he does that so well, doesn't he? Out on the wing now to Savage. Savage, one bounce, has an option to take a second. He elects not to. A torpedo sort of interesting kick, difficult to mark, comes to ground. Lee can't quite grasp it at the first attempt, but he lays a good tackle on Robertson. Not enough to force a holding the ball decision. The umpire says that's mine right in front of the Dare or Fix It signs.
Very happy to have Dare Iced Coffee on site with the St Kilda Footy Club this year. A lot of people enjoying a Dare Iced Coffee to kickstart their Saturday morning. Tom Morris has got one. That's why he's going at the speed he's going. He's powered entirely by Dare Iced Coffee.
Oh, Longer, look at that. He's grabbed out of the ruck. He's had a crack.
Oh, Billy.
Just missed. Well, if he can add some goal kicking to his game, Billy Long, he's going to be a very valuable player.
I was looking forward to seeing him point to the scoreboard if he kicked that. But
yeah.
He might have dropped that from the repertoire. I think he copped a bit of heat over that.
Seeing as he's playing against the Saints, I'm not sure about the value of that today at the moment.
The Gricker, the Sandringham boy, done a bit already. He's probably been the best of the Sandy top-up players today.
He's got some good size, doesn't he? Nice, strong in the legs. There's Akers, who took it and ran. He can give the handball over the top to Saunders, who's been closely tracked by Shenton. Now Saunders again to Loney, who stopped and did nicely and found space. Loney got the handball away to Webster. No, he's called holding the ball. Whether he got a handball on it or not, he's only travelled about 2 minutes to get here this morning, Jack Loney. Now Billings, it was nicely tackled by Armitage. Billings on that classy left foot looking for Sard, who read it nicely, and he couldn't quite hold on to it.
Joe Baker-Thomas just not intercepting, but spoiling there. First New Zealand scholarship holder. Good to see him out on the park.
Has had some trouble with shin splints in the past, but it looks good today. Holmes wins the ruck contest uncontested. Akers is ridden to the ground, and the umpire said that's just fair. And I'll have that again right in front of the commentary box here. This is a great spectacle. Holmes and Longer, but the tap is won by Sinclair. Probably the only time he's done that. Weller now gets the handball away, looking for Dunstan. Can't find him. Picked up by Sinclair again. Interesting handball to Loney, who body lines the ball. Weller looks back to Billings. Billings can go lateral, but instead he looks central. Goddard's going to get the punch away, and he does nicely. And he follows up against Nunes. Nunes picks himself up and gets the handball back now to Fisher, who can't grab it to hot foot at the moment. Fisher tackles
Sinclair, wasn't it?
Sinclair again, who's in the thick of the action. And it's a hot footy that's in the back, and the umpire says, you take that kick, Goddard, because you're at the bottom of that pack and you deserve it. That's Saunders. My apologies.
How'd you mix those two up?
I thought Goddard was taking the kick. This is Ross. Ross on the outer side, and he's found Webster. Webster now.
Oh, no.
I was going to say he's a beautiful left foot kick, although it did find its destination.
Markworth to Holmes. Jason Holmes gets the hand pass away. Farron Ray now kicks long, up forward. A pack forming. Goes to ground.
Oh, White. Oh.
Spencer White gets the kick. It doesn't quite penetrate the way he wanted it to. And a diving mark taken, and my binoculars fall apart by David Armitage. He chips back. And the mark taken by Cameron Shenton. Clean shaven and short back in size. I'm not sure that's all that popular with his cult-like following.
No, well, that Armitage mark reminded me of Steve Vaughn at the MCG, I believe it was, when he took the mark behind the sight screen, diving.
Yep.
Back with the pack. It was beautifully done, Armitage. Well read, working hard in the back pocket. He's still down there.
Steve Vaughn, of course, playing a completely different sport to the one we're watching now, but
of course,
regardless.
A quality Australian captain, though. Lee now. Lee's got a chance. He pushes off. He can run into goal here. He can run into an open goal, and he does. Tom Lee finishes off, and he cops a bit of a bump for it from Farron Ray. But he gets the job done.
He's got to earn it. Been impressed by Tom Lee today. He's done a little bit.
Well, St Kilda's forward line's shaping up nicely, isn't it? You've got Lee, White, McCartan, Goddard can push forward as well, not to mention the skipper himself. He's not playing today.
Rewell's probably still ahead of the whole lot of them, but there are a lot of young blokes pushing up.
But it is multi-dimensional, isn't it? And that is only good signs for the 2015 and beyond.
I noticed Lewis Pearce playing a little bit up forward. Yep. He's obviously recognised as a ruckman in his first couple of seasons at Sandringham. I don't know if this is a sign of things to come, that he could possibly be a tall forward. Maybe he could be that sort of player that play that sort of role that Reece Stanley had played the last few years.
That's right. We saw Tom Hickey against GWS, how valuable he was up forward. If you have a ruckman who can push forward and get a goal or two a game, you do you do widen your options dramatically.
Jason Holmes again, he's won, I reckon, the bulk of these ruck contests against Billy Longer.
Well, if you read Paul Hudson's VFL player breakdown last year on saints.com.au, you would see that Holmes' ruck work is highly rated. The next stage of his game is actually getting more of the ball around the ground. And they'll take a break here now, so 10 minutes in to the second third of this game. And it's been a high-tempo one this third. Obviously, a goal to Tom Lee just then. But Spencer White's been impressive. Who have you looked after, or who have you looked for at the moment?
Who have I been impressed by?
Yeah.
Oh, Sam Fisher's been exceptional across half-back. Sam Fisher and Sean Dempster. I mean, today's all about unveiling the young guys and seeing what they're all about, but you just get a reminder of those veterans and those experienced, quality-assured senior players down back, and those two are very impressive. Shane Savage has been a part of quite a bit.
Ahmed Saad down forward?
Yeah, Ahmed Saad's been there amongst it. Paddy McCartan, very involved early on, probably hasn't had the supply ever since. Jimmy Webster, I was mentioning before, he's got into the middle of quite a few contests. Mav Weller's throwing himself around. David Armitage is doing a little bit.
Yeah.
Spencer White's presenting well. He's looking pretty dangerous up there.
In a Dyson Heppel sort of mould, you do notice Eli Templeton every time he goes near it. But he's a quality player and he does have pace. He outran Montagna earlier. And Montagna's no slouch either, but he does take the game on, and that's going to be a very valuable aspect of his game. He's pushed up on the wing this year. He did play more at half forward earlier.
I was going to say, we noticed him last year in his brief foray into senior footy before he injured his arm. He was playing mainly as a small forward, but he is pushing up the wing. I noticed there was quite an impressive article on saints.com.au written during the week, and it was mentioned that he might be playing a different role as his career goes on. He could be an impressive wingman option. Definitely got the skills, got the footy nous, and he's one of the more exciting prospects down here at Lennon House Centre.
Well, it is the natural progression, isn't it? You start your career as a forward just looking to make your way in the team, and as you grow both physically and emotionally, there's no doubt he could push into the midfield alongside Jack Billings, Luke Dunson, these types. Well, Joe Baker-Thomas is actually marking Paddy McCartan at the moment, deep in defence for Baker-Thomas and forward for McCartan, so an interesting role there.
A bit of competitive push and shove with Dylan Robertson and Ahmed Saad there. It's good to see the competitive juices flowing. Neither of the two backing down. Not too harmful, obviously, but they're both keen to make an impression. That's good to see.
Now Ross is in amongst it here, but the ball's gone up and Pearce will win the tap down to that man Ross, who gives a sharp handball out now to Markworth, who's got some pace but elects not to use it on this occasion as Savage was tracking back. This is Holmes. Gives a handball now and he might get it back here, Holmes. He picks it up below his knees. No, he doesn't. Well tackled from behind by that man Savage, and Markworth will chip it inside just over Sinclair's head. Well done by Pearce, that other ruckman.
That was good. A bloke who's that
done.
size, over 200 centimetres, to pick it up below his knees and dish it off, that's very impressive by Lewis Pearce.
Templeton now to the pocket, looking for a mark. He can't quite find one. And the ball will trickle over in the forward pocket. It was from Pearce, wasn't it? He really is a talent. He's been quelled by injuries so far in his career, but in the small doses of football we've seen, he has shown glimpses of real talent.
Yeah, plus he's a ruckman. I mean, no one expects ruckman to make a huge impression their first couple of years, but look, he's been in the system 2 years now. He might be on the verge of something special. He's definitely showing something today, and I'm sure that won't be going unnoticed by Alan Richardson and the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Speaking of not going unnoticed, Dylan Robertson does nicely. Look, went to a 2-on-1 though, but Bruce did well to defensively punch, and that's one of Bruce's strengths, isn't it? He can play defence or forward. He really is a proper swingman.
He is. He's used it both ends last year, his first year since crossing over from GWS. There is suddenly a bit of competition for those key defensive spots. It wasn't so long ago that we effectively didn't have a key defender, and now there's quite a few in the mix. Good to see.
Well, one man who is sure to start the season, and obviously pending no injuries from here on, is Luke Delaney. What a fantastic 2014 he had. Every game and took on some very big names while he was at it.
Oh, ball's gone up. Louis Pearce underneath it. Another good mark. Another tick in the box for the big fella. Hang on, there's a
25
whistle.
against McCartan. 50, against McCartan. So he just stepped over the man on the mark there, and the whistle was blown and he didn't move back, and then the 50 was paid. So it's good to see the umpires actually paying the rules they would be paying in the AFL season.
Yeah, apparently 25-metre penalties are part of it now, Tom. What year are we living in?
No, I'm used to watching amateur football, of course.
Which any amateur club in particular?
Louis Pearce, yes, of the Old Melburnians.
Oh, okay, I never would have picked that.
Jimmy Webster to the forward pocket. It's a lot of Saints jumpers down there, the home Saints jumpers, I mean, and the ball is the umpires. I just realised how ridiculous that was, what I just said.
Yep, there are lots of Saints jumpers out there. In
36,
fact, every single jumper out there is a Saints jumper.
And a few on the bench and a few in the crowd as well. Great to see it building up here again. We're just over halfway through the game. Tackled to the ground. That was Loney, I'm pretty sure he's tackled to the ground down there. And he's been pinged for holding the ball. So good defensive work. Kick comes out to Billings, who's strong.
He had to earn it.
Geez, he had to earn it, but he held strong, didn't he? Seb Ross has really bulked up. A lot of talk about Seb Ross playing that inside midfield role, and he's certainly playing that with some success today. Yeah,
he's another who could grow and develop a little bit with players like Lenny Hayes moving on, and obviously Nick Del Santo and Brendan Goddard previous years. Very new look midfield, a lot of opportunities opening up. Seb Ross is one that I think we'll see assume greater responsibility.
This is Goddard now, got it from Baker Thomas, not the best of kicks. It's going to land in vacant territory, no man's land. Weller just got, no he didn't, he threw it out. I was about to say he got the handball away, probably didn't get a fist on it.
It's Jack Billings actually. Loney takes the kick, puts it up forward, and the mark intercepted Jaron Geary. He's come into it as the game's worn on. He chips in to Savage. Savage is always that link man coming out of defence, I'm finding. Kicks it out to the wing, and the mark taken by Lee Montagna.
Well, it does say something about Billings that despite my lack of commentary now and lack of binoculars, he does look a bit like Weller from front on, so he has definitely bulked up. Remember, he's going to do well to keep his feet here. He's going to track back inside. He's taken to the ground by Goddard, and Webster comes in to help. McCartan and Goddard, they're going at it here, and there's plenty of argy-bargy. Great to see. Really good to see.
That's Tim Membry and Hugh Goddard, neither backing back. That's good to see.
Membry's going to attack this one again, charging through with Sinclair. The kick comes out from Webster, who's getting a bit of it in the last 10 minutes, doing really nicely, and Dempster read that so well.
I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying the Sean Dempster-Spencer White contest. Yeah. It's very even at the moment. They're both doing a lot, and the ball's coming their way a hell of a lot too.
The short chip comes in looking for Armitage. Lee called for it long. He's stuck behind now. And stuck behind that Sandy opponent, Blaine Coates, who gets the handball lateral to Ray, who finds some space with his legs, and Webster now on his non-preferred side. He's going to have to work something out here. And he goes on his left and does really well to Markworth.
Akers is on here if he pushes up.
Just the required distance. He can go back if he wants to Robertson. He's going to look forward to Holmes. Holmes was behind, he gave him a quick nudge in the back, and Fisher will win the free kick.
Yeah, that's probably experience winning out there. Jason Holmes still getting a feeling for AFL footy. He's up against a guy who's played 200-odd AFL games there. Sam Fisher just knew a little bit more about positioning and how to milk the free kick. Good work by him.
A learning experience for Jason Holmes, as is every day for these blokes. Joe Baker-Thomas is on a similar level in terms of his learning curve, but he will improve rapidly, and he's already shown great improvements over the past 12 months. The umpire's going to call it here. It's going to be holding the ball. Tough, but that is how they're going to pay it. They are going to be tough on holding the ball this year. And Nunes wins the free kick, and he's going to go slightly backwards and slightly lateral and find Delaney.
Delaney chips in. Billings at half back. He looks out to the wing. The left foot kick. Spots up Weller, I think. He kicks out, and Tom Curran.
In front of Goddard, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that matchup. That might have been an accident, that one. Tom Curran kicks it long. Oh, no.
Into the man on the mark.
Into the man on the mark. So I got the binoculars on. I thought he kicked it long, 2 metres.
Well smothered by Goddard. 196 centimetres, I believe, and a key position player taken with St Kilda's second pick in last year's national draft.
Widely considered a steal at 21 too.
Absolutely, he was touted to go number 1 at some stage actually, but then he sort of drifted to top 10, and then we took him in the early 20s.
We're happy to take that.
Ray, a wobbling punt, and Fisher again. How well does Fisher read the play?
Better than anyone out there, I'd say, and better than most in the AFL actually. It's one of his real strengths.
Sard now he's going to get from Savage. Webster's tracking back, and Webster does well to make a contest. He keeps it in, and now he gets it to Baker Thomas. Superb work from Webster. Sard defensively does nicely in Baker Thomas, and it's going to be downfield here. And Bruce is going to win the free kick for Baker Thomas's great work. Well, really good stuff from Jimmy Webster.
Yeah, it was, and Joe Baker Thomas too. There's a fair few blokes out there on a bit of a learning curve. He's one of them. He's got some athleticism about him, doesn't he, for a tall guy?
Absolutely. From the town of Parura in New Zealand.
Potiua is the way you pronounce it, Tom.
Well said. I'm glad I've got my New Zealand translator here.
Yep.
This is longer.
Of course, we're looking forward to getting over to New Zealand again for the 3rd consecutive year on Anzac Day. Against the Blues this time. Saints fans, get on board. Go to the website, find out all you can It's a tremendous experience. I say that from someone who's been there for every game so far. Highly recommend it for anyone.
And it'll go up a notch this year, the 100-year anniversary since the Gallipoli landing. So just an extra bit of historical spice added to the contest.
Definitely. Shenton takes the... Oh, no, he doesn't take the mark.
Shenton's brought to ground. Shenton actually brings him to ground, but in the back, illegally so, says the umpire.
Is that Jimmy Webster?
And Jimmy Webster again, he's been best on ground this third. Jimmy Webster, he's been all over on the half-back flank. He's going to cover inside now. A low-looking punt to Sinclair, who's also been impressive, actually.
Yeah, he's done a bit.
In his Saints debut. Sinclair, another good-looking kick. And he's found his man, and he found his man in Banfield. Cam Banfield's going to kick short.
Another Sandy top-up player.
That's exactly right. He had a good season for Sandy last year. A real talented player, Cam Banfield, 21 years old. Weller, geez, he's gone hard there on the outer side. And the kick comes out now. McCartan's got pole position and it bounces well. And Lee's got about 45 metres of space. If he can make the most of it, he can run in. Templeton's going to track him down, looking for Sard. He's going to cut it inside. Sard's got position, but Webster does well to make the spoil. And now it's a foot race. It's a real tough one. Sinclair, blind turns into Webster, and Webster will get it back from Goddard, and he'll run away again. Beautifully done by Jimmy Webster. Armand Sard was in pole position there from the kick
Marked
from
by
Lee.
Jason Holmes, and Jason with the kick. He doesn't always back himself with the kicking, but that didn't quite hit the target.
Right idea.
Penetration on it.
Well, that'll be the end of the second third in this game now. So you can see the players, they're reasonably fatigued at the moment. Still,
have a look at how many guys are down their haunches. They're blowing hard, these boys. They're not leaving much to the imagination.
Still 20 minutes to go, so there's still a bit of footy left in us. Stay with us for the third term.